Video should be up and kicking. Indeed, we are. I'll send this thing on the Discord and then we'll change it to this and then, all right. Hello and welcome to another day of Supernova action. Yesterday we had the other LTA. We discovered two of the people reaching the loser semi-final. And today we're going to discover who the other two are. There are three potential candidates. And I guess I'll start introducing them. So, yeah, the first one with the blue, it'll be Zumi. Hello, Zumi.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
A little bit nervous, of course,
Fair.
but ready to game.
Since last time you got a pretty hefty PB.
Oh
That's
yeah,
interesting.
it happened on the same day of the previous LTA,
Yeah, which
later
is
in the evening.
which is fun.
Yeah.
Um, on the purple, there was Mickey. Mickey has decided to not participate. Therefore, that is why there are. This is mainly a three-player LTA, so that four-player not happening. On the orange, there is Sunnerd. Hello, Sunnerd.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good and quite confident, I would say, because we are only three, so
That's fair. It would
I
be
only
easier.
have to not be last. So yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
yeah.
And then on the red, we have oat slice from one day ago. Uh, which yeah, new thing. Basically, yeah. Instead of having just streamed Oslice playing for 2 hours yesterday, in the morning, I just like decided Oslice records that gameplay, and then we show it here alongside the rest. So Oslice isn't currently here, probably like sleeping or something. Because Australia. However, that gameplay will be shown here as if it was in real time. So that's what's happening with Oslice. Um, just as a reminder, with the Oslice, Zumi and Sunner, you both are on emulator, which means that you need to that compared to each other, there's no gap. However, you would need to beat Oslice by 8 seconds to be able to like be ahead in the standings for like you know
All right,
yeah.
the good old stuff. Oatslice from the past.
So with that, if you runners want to get ready, we could commence.
I am ready.
I'm ready.
All right. With that, I will do a countdown. We will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck.
Hey, good luck.
Good luck, bro.
And the runners are off. I can already see the people chanting in the chat for their favorite. Is what I have. I will activate the O-size video in just 1 second. I made it so that I can time it. There we go. It's like not perfectly synced, but it's good enough. Either way. We have here an LTA yet again. I do enjoy it as me in the casting booth because it's sometimes pretty short notice. So what is the expectation for this one? I don't know, this update is going to be interesting. We've never quite seen oatslice, of course, having done LTA in this tournament at least. Which means that when it comes to potential performance, I don't know, it's impossible to gauge, really. Is when compared to the race performances, of course, oatslice also didn't do too many races because had the fortune of facing some players which forfeited. Managed to get some pretty decent time, especially against Karen, the only player to win twice against Karine, the current grand finalist that is waiting. Managed to bring it all the way to game 5. Didn't win in the latter 3 games, so got reverse swept. However, did pretty good and even got, I think, a very solid 15 time for at least one of the races. I'm not sure if it was 2 or if it was just 1. But that's all true. So, I do have some faith that what oatslice played here for these 2 hours is good Mario. I'm not sure. I didn't watch the VOD. I didn't watch any of this. I have no idea what happened. It could have been great. It could have been terrible. I didn't watch it. And in the meantime, we have Zumi, which has always had, especially here, some good race performances, PBing in 2 different occasions. We got a 15-27 in the first round. You know, because Zumi got upset by, I think, Soda to get here along. When Sunnard also did get upset by Soda to go down early in quotation marks. So then they both started the LTA journey. Sunnard has won both LTAs, but they were with theoretically weaker times than the time Zumi got, which won 2 and got second in one, where Raisin got a 15:09. So the LTA performances from Zumi, I think, are time-wise better. However, Sunnard has had like better in terms of positions. So it is truly not going to be simple to figure out which runner is going to get eliminated and which 2 are going to make it to that semi-final where Physius and Benji are waiting. Which yesterday, Physius and Benji managed to eliminate Raisin, with Benji last run being the one to knock Raisin out of the 2nd spot, which Raisin had been residing in the entire LTA. It was truly epic. We do see a little bit of struggle from all of the runners pretty early on so far. We will have our first instance of someone going to basement. It is oatslice, which at this point does get to move along to the basement, which is rather interesting. And into SSL we go for the first one of oatslice's runs. I am very curious to see what ended up happening, because, like, I don't know, it's a whole different headspace. Like, this isn't really any different to if I just streamed oatslice yesterday, which means that the headspace has got to be the same, which, however, you know, it's a little weird because we're kind of blending the situation here. You know, Zumi and Sun are going to be very keenly aware about what's going on, right? Who's ahead, who isn't. Oatslice isn't. Oatslice just kind of played, had the own mind to think about, had to kind of set a time to try to beat, and just try to beat it. There wasn't too much, like, external factors into this play session. In the meantime, that of course, Zumi and Sun are gonna be at least slightly aware. For a moment, I thought Zumi was about to get zapped by all 3 amps. Alright, got zapped by 3 amps, not all those, not the 3 amps I was referring to. Things are going well over there. In the meantime, I already see that oatslice starting off ahead, which is pretty good. That's us out. Alright, let's see it. Grabbing some red coins. And there we go. Three out of 4 amps. I mean, like, I think there's... Wait, is there not another one? No. I think there's 5, right? Or am I going crazy? I might be going crazy. I thought there was another amp. But, like, it's one that you don't really get near of. But yeah, that was a lot of amps. Oatslice is indeed was cooking on the initial run. Or at least one of the initial runs. Ah yeah, this was the initial run. Yeah, doing very well on it. We do see Sunner in basement, by the way. It's very interesting. And there we go, Bully has been defeated. Sunner gonna be doing the pyramid star. Let's go. I said the pyramid star. It's I mean, it technically is the pyramid star, but I blank because it's pillarless. I mean, it is inside the pyramid, but usually the pyramid star is the one that's on top of the pyramid, so my bad. As far as the starts go, it has not necessarily been the greatest ones for Zumi. The first 10 minutes has definitely been a little bit of a troublesome. Don't want to key that going too much. It'd be very interesting because both Zumi and Sunnard have done the exact same thing yesterday of playing for 1 billion hours and then not playing at all today, at least on stream. Zumi had like a 6-hour stream before the OTA. I think Sunnard had like a 7-hour stream after or something. Crazy. I don't know. At least something like it. Sunnard did stream for a while. The VOD is really long. So, does gameplay retain from one day to the next? Not really sure. Depends on the person. Depends on the time. Depends on a lot of factors. Alright, let's see exactly what's up with this first oatslice run, which is going very, very well. Out of the moment, this is very interesting. Watch for rolling rocks. And there we go. That's going to be wrapping up. A little behind personal best, but by 10:27, pretty solid. It's PBable for sure. For someone like oatslice, which has a PB as a 15:34. You can definitely personal best this. Alright, some pretty good MIPs. Pretty solid, good stuff. Center's also proceeding around that initial run. It seems to be going pretty well. For what's going on there in the bottom right of the screen. Now that Zumi has a 1502, it is unlikely to really, for us to get to make the Zumi's gonna BB jokes, which is sad. Oh, oatslice, oh no, the front's up. That was so close to working. It looked good, but must have jump dived a little early. There we go, gets down there or missed a rollout or something. Personally, I like to believe that this tournament helped Zumi unleash his potential as one of the top Mario runners. You know, almost in the coveted 14 club. Might be in another, system for sure. You know, in an emulator, another platform. However, what happens, happens. You know. Wait, Osai's doing pretty good. Doesn't have the chances to try any of the masterful. A little weird on this railing as well. Needs to make sure to not clip out. Takes the burn a little early to play it safe. Valid. Sonard, I see a nice GTM slide. But yeah, in general, I'd say a little bit of time lost on that fire seat. It was a little awkward throughout for oatslice, however, it's still going all fine. Even wait, now that I noticed, wait, this Sundered exit time is about to be unbelievable. Wait, what is Sundered doing? Is that 10:06? What the hell? Nah. That's... If that's accurate, that's kind of wild. Hold the phone. That's kind of crazy. Alright, let's see oatslice. His best possible time into this first run is still potential PB. There we go, instantaneous. I mean, not really, but like first try. Backward long jump. So they're struggling on the MIPS clip, so this won't be the greatest run of all time. I was a little confused at what was happening over there. I didn't notice it being that good. Okay, a little bit of time lost there for oatslice as Mario needs to walk all the way down, which does suck. I can't lie. Alright, let's see how oatslice takes care of us. PB is dead. So oatslice didn't just submit a PB. Let me just quickly get rid of this because it's still here on Zoom screen. Okay, there we go. Alright, oatslice going for standing left. Will it work? There we go. Nice. That is well done. oatslice is currently, at this rate, about to set the pace with a really good time. I mean, with the current pace under that it could be even better. This could be one of probably the greatest beginnings in terms of just raw times. Let's see what oatslice can do, what oatslice did in these throws. One of them was a success. Oh yeah, Sonar's cooking. I don't know what's happening. oatslice missing that second throw. Does hurt. There we go, gets it there. Not gonna be a 15 for oatslice. Oh, gets bumped by Bowser. Yeah, definitely no 15 for oatslice, which sucks because that was really a potential PB. Despite it being pretty much always behind, it was on there. So yeah, oatslice yesterday in the first run managed to get a 1604. It's very, very big curiosity as how that affected the mental moving forward. That's oatslice, of course, has no idea what's happening today. Yeah, that map looks kind of scammed. I think it might have been like a too early type of scenario from my outlook on that. All right, let's see. Sonnet going to do the BOJ. Doesn't work. Oh no. That's an absolute scam. And instantly on the second try. There we go. Here we go again. Interesting camera angles. I think a little different than how most people do it. There we go. BOJ split done. Still with the opportunity to be very fast. It just has to be closed out. Oh no. Little bit of sloppy movement. It's gonna massively slow down the situation. We've still got a pretty safe 15 on our hands. Despite that. Let's see. Is it going to be moving right? It is going to be moving right. It's going to be a successful moving right. Very clean. That is what I like to see. And here we go. Sunnard already en route to take that first place. If Sunnard can get these throws. Let's see him. Throw number one. A good throw. Nice regrab into the second. Very fast. Only 2 spins. Little bounce on the Bowser. Going back in for the regrab. And there's the third throw, which works. All right, there we go. That is very, very nice. So that's nice. Sunnard immediately going to be wrapping up in 20 minutes with a 15:23, which had an unbelievable 10:06. Like what? Yeah, 15:23. That is very nicely done. And all right, so qualifying time in the span of 20 minutes has been set at already pretty much a 15 for Zumi. So you can say the job is not easy today. Oh my. Seems like at least for Sunnard playing for like 7 hours yesterday definitely paid off. Like immediately pretty much. I mean, had a few early resets before Womps, but like 2 Womps in Womps, I think. And already clocking in that 15:23. oatslice, of course, has no idea about this. oatslice is living in the past, as that gameplay was yesterday. I will need to reiterate this 1 million times, because there's nothing on the stream that said that. I don't have any space to put it, so it's only my voice that can do the work. Jimmy, for the first time, I believe, in basement, needs to already maybe start thinking of some strategies of what to do, what time to aim for, because 15:23 is just really, really good. It's as far you know, Sunnard has been so far in 2 LTAs, and this is the best time that Sunnard got. Sunnard, you know, played for pretty much 2 hours in the other 2 LTAs and didn't get a time like this. So job was done early. theoretically could have qualified already. It is unknown. I don't know what oatslice is. Oh my. Realistically, however, oatslice should not have beaten this. I mean, this is better than oatslice's PB. Even with the 8 seconds, right? Like, oatslice got a PB by 4 seconds. Didn't tell anybody. And so that could be shown here. Or Sunnerd will have a qualification spot. Again, whether it's first or second, doesn't matter in this specific instance. We'll be going to the same location. Yeah, just to understand, Zumi's pretty much got almost a 14, and that HMC was 10-12. And Sunnerd got a 10-06. Like, huh? How did that happen? Like, the moment I wasn't focusing on any of it because there was the oatslice run going on, so I don't know. It was just good, I guess. All right. Zumi taking a ledge grab. We're going to the big bully. It is a slight time loss. Can Def get a big PB? Just gotta clutch it out. That's fair. I believe that as well. I mean, I think it's been a good while since Sunnerd's last PB, I think. Right? Like, it's been a bit. Either way, Zumi slowly making up time, as you can tell by the lethal lava land and the shifting sand land. Solid GTM. Open out the cause. As of course, if you consider the pretty good immediate oatslice run and the masterful Sunnerd run that happened just 5 minutes after the LTA starting, I think Zumi's got to be on pretty high alert that today might not go down easy. Bulk jump proving to be a struggle. Chooses to back it up, however, instead of backing it up, tries to back it up with death. Doesn't work out. Yeah, misses the emergency exit platform. It is at a little bit of a diagonal. It's not straight. Like, if you long jump straight, you're not actually gonna do it. Like, it's at a diagonal. They go really good ball jump here. The depth might be too much to handle. It already puts the Sunnerd time pretty much out of question. However, oatslice could be technically still beatable. It does need to not screw up the end game. It leaves like little room for error, really. Only like about 15 seconds. Might be still worth trying, but it's tough. Tough days for sure. But oatslice, is oatslice here? I have no idea what oatslice is doing. I think oatslice was. Alright, yeah. Yeah, I think oatslice works at this time, right? Yeah. So it's either worse or is it sleep? One of the two. I don't remember which. Yo, share time's kind of weird. Zoomy missing the chip clip. That's gonna lose 8 more seconds. Top of already not perfect MIPS clip. It might not. This one might have been not worth it, I'd say. In the humble opinion of me. However, front sub might save it. It has happened a few times before, but if I remember, it happened like at least at one of the other LTAs. But yeah, I think it was like the last one. Sunnerd kind of qualified immediately, and then was just on PB mode. And it's kind of happened again. Because like, okay, it's definitely possible, right? Of course, that Zumi could take over first. However, oatslice would require like a at least 3-second PB. So if oatslice did somehow PB in this footage, then maybe there's trouble. Otherwise, we should be fine. Because there is the handicap for emulator, which does put it slightly into jeopardy. Right, so oatslice wouldn't have needed to PB by that much. However, oatslice was so needed to PB. Not really sure. Did I also get any new PB on speedrun.com? Anyway, Zumi continuing this run. It is theoretically still oatslice beatable. It is plus 53, which would be a 1555. However, it needs to not lose any time on the 1502. That first BOJ is very solid with the turnaround. We are talking about a 1-0 star runner. You'd hope they'd have this down. There we go. Even saving some time on the BOJ. That is very, very nice. Taking a ledge grab, immediately making all of Bowser in the sky movement a little awkward. As oatslice heads into the basement. Alright, here we go, moving right. And there we go. This is a very solid sky. That's almost right into a Goomba. The Goomba almost made me regret my words. That was unbelievably close to dying. Here we go. If we get these throws, all of them, we should be beating oatslice. That doesn't need to happen. So that was 1. That should be 2. And now the third one. Roll the marbles. There we have it. Right? Yeah, that should. Yeah. That's a 15. Wait. Okay. 1554 is 10 seconds. Which means that Zumi is in fact in second place. That was close though. That was really, really close. To not actually work it out. There we go. Everything has been amped to the max. Started popping in with a best time Started ever got in the Supernovas, LTAs. Zumi already 15ing in half an hour. Oatslice, you know, that first run. There will still be more Mario to see. It is completely unknown whether Oatslice improved this time. So that means Zumi especially is on edge, has about 2 seconds of gap before Oatslice would take over again because of the console differential. Which is not a lot. Oatslice currently in the middle of Lethal Lava Land. Here we go, nice. Good side up. Standard also back in the basement. Doing wonders. If I'm reading that correct, I think Center set the comparison point back to the PB, which makes sense. We weren't too far off with our run. Oh my, disaster happening here for Oatslice. Somehow survived. That was so close. Anything's happening and pew. Bonk on one of the fallen platforms and then this chaos happens. The interesting thing is with the elimination, the preemptive elimination of Miggy, these would be the last remaining players in their nations. There is no more Australia, no more France, and no more Italy. There is no one else, and I'm pretty sure there would be no nation with more than 2 members. Right, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no nation with more than 2 runners currently alive. Like, the top, like, the last, like, 4, 5, 6, the last, like, 7 surviving runners, are all from different nations, which I think is pretty interesting. Showcase a little bit, like, the difference and stuff. Sonard is on fire. Sonard's doing good. I think Sonard's ahead of PB again, just for the memes. Let's see. Oatslice's gonna be leaving this one at around a 10:35. Thunder died to lava boost. Not sure what happened. Want to like an invisible or something? No, I don't know. Nice punch grab from Oatslice. Which, you know, he doesn't know it in the past, but needs to improve the time already. Mips is doing pretty nice, I think. The Oatslice Mip split is just unbelievably good, though. I don't know. Yeah, that was a very nice Mip. I did lost that. But anyway, with the whole nation talk, yeah, this is the last of runners from each nation. There, so yeah, Australia, Oatslice, surviving, There were a few others, like maybe, you know, and the Pygolds, however, they've been eliminated. Pygolds, if I remember, got eliminated by 1 second. In the meanwhile, for France, there were a bunch of French runners. Most of them didn't make it too far. Kuda was the one who made it farthest between the other ones. So, which was, I guess, somewhat of a surprise. Was pretty good at the LTAs, surprising enough. However, Van couldn't finish a run that would have beaten Benji and gone on that. And in Italy's term, there was another Italian runner. There was CJ Rocco Romero, which had managed to win a match with controller problems, and then afterwards had to quit because of the controller just being completely fried. I'm sure oatslice from the past appreciates your cheers very much. This one is going pretty fine, I'd say. It's definitely got what it takes to improve significantly if it all goes well at the end. However, at the end, going well is a luxury. Alright, here we go into the VOJs. Let's see it, the 50-star one. And there we go, we're up, alright. I see things. Hold the phone. Hold up. This needs to be pretty instantaneous to keep up with the PB. And it's not really. It's like fine. But the best possible time is already over, which means this bits was probably a gold. Which sucks. Yeah, damn, there's like no time. However, when it comes to the prospects of improvement, there is a very dangerous situation for Zumi here, but oatslice from the past must manage to clutch this up. Let's see here, that's a nice moving right. There we go. This is a good bit, to be fair, holy. That was a MIPS, not my MIPS, that was a bit with pretty much no problems. Is this PVable? No. Alright, let's see the throws. That's one really good spin. Oh! Doesn't get the grab on Bowser. Only gets bonked by the shell. It's a spiky shell. There's the second throw. Just waits for him. Then misses. Oh no. Oh. Gotta land this. There we go. I think we've still beat out Zumi. Fact we have just on straight up time as well. Didn't need none of that platform difference. Bullcrap. 15:52. It's a very interesting time. Haven't been in this screen. Let me update the standings. It was really close to a PB. By one for sure. Here we go. So now, yeah, now Zumi's task is significantly significantly complicated. It needs to be a 1544. 1544 or under for Zumi to officially be better than this oatslice time, which starts to definitely enter the range of, oh no, this could be difficult to achieve if you consider the fact that a solid 40 minutes have already passed, which is almost half of the time. It's about 20 minutes off. It's like 3/8 of the way. Speaking of Zumi, let's see how this run from Zumi goes. We do have a solid 423 at the end of Womps. The pillarless is also good, the plus going nice. Time for talent, as I think it's called. Here we go. The star from the bird has been acquired. So far, a very strong shifting soundline type all throughout. There is some time save on this stage, so I'm wondering if Zumi's ahead here. No, okay, we're not quite. I'm surprised we lost time, because that was good as well. The pillar must have been damn good. And here we are in Lethal Lava Land. There's a long time to figure this out. However, if Zumi could in fact just straight up not need to worry about any of that and get a good time right now, that would simplify the situation a lot more. Relieve some of the stress. Lawless didn't quite go super well. Didn't work immediately. Second try will have to be a light time loss, which is very allowed. Alright, let's see it. Very nice. I like that elevator tour. Smooth movements all around. This one, I'd say, is going pretty well. If it keeps up on this path, I can definitely see some good time. For sure. There we go. Yep, we're leading. We are ahead of a 15:02, boys. Is it 14 time? What is up? Alright, I see you. I see this. This is going pretty good. Very nice. Watch for rolling rocks with nice boulder, with good boulder RNG and all of the sauce. There's some more Hazy Maze Cave to do. Box jump, which is usually the first star most people do in the HMC. Zumi leaves it for second. It's a little bit of an awkward triple jump, I'd say. However, it worked out. It got to the star and very quickly at that. Which is good news. Finally, it'll be emergency exit. The last star in the stage. Taking an annoying double ledge grab. That in of itself will lose Zumi some time. Still an unbelievable 10-14. Lacking, of course, truly be a very, very special time if taken to fruition. Let's see how it goes. It's a big moment for sure, because this is quite an opportunity. The mip's not perfect. Oh no, almost through the door. Panicking a little bit, trying to be fast. There you go. In with some, definitely a dent of time loss in the stew. Gonna go for the chip clip. Gets it this time. Things are still going pretty good. As far as the 1552 is concerned, we are more than on track. Remember, Zumi needs the 1544 to be able to claim second spot. And if Zumi can beat the 1523, which Sonard put up, that would also just be, I don't know, bragging. It also shut down pretty much any likelihood of both sides having that qualification. Let's see, Zumi going in for a cheeky little ultimate. There we go. Massive. Absolutely massive from Zumi. Started, by the way, also on a run as we've been speaking, which is going pretty well. oatslice also back in the basement. A few seconds behind. But with time saves to gain. Here we go. That was a really good fire seat. Is it gold? No. Okay. I'm exaggerating a little bit. I should not expect such high praise. It was pretty good though. Because it did even save time. BOJ split. A run that is technically still PBable. Yeah. The BPT is still there somehow, as the BOJ gold is very, very good. And that is very, very good. Oh my. Oh my lord. Tries to just go up the stairs as fast as possible. It doesn't align it properly, which means Mario can't do the catching immediately thing. So I'd say it's a little bit overly rushed there. However, still into bits with the possibility of taking not just second back, but first back as well, as long as it just finishes well. Ooh. Taking a little bit of a bunk, and the triple jump that was unintended. It's awkward all around. However, no big misstep. Moving right, here we go. Very nice. Oh, Oh, surprise! What? That? Huh? I am very impressed. I made it. The Goomba. Oh my god. The Goomba has been almost taken lives. Here today, it's not quite claimed a victim, but Eviscerate is close. I see Sutter dying. A big rip. Let's see how the Zoomy throws are going. That's one. That'll be two. It'll be that lands, right? Yeah. There we go. Zoomy wraps it up. I think beating Sunnerd, right? Yeah. Yes. There we go. 15-20. And holy. These two runners bring the heat. That's for sure. When you've got Zoomy and Sunnerd playing, you know good Mario's incoming. There we go. So now is gonna be the very interesting scenario of technically, like, there is, like, it's now more likely than not that this is that we just qualify. Like, that this is the result, because, like, well, it's possible, right? I am like, it'd be very, very surprising if oatslice got this PB here, without, like, I've been, like, you know, submitted or whatever. So, like, here's the deal. It's always possible. It is always possible. And if we've seen, I mean, oatslice, at least from the initial runs, has definitely had that pace in this session from yesterday. So it's pretty interesting. As a specific reminder, oatslice would have needed to PB by 3 seconds to be able to crawl back Sunnerd based on platform differences. Would need a 15:31 to send Sunnerd to a retime. Yeah, the next LTA is very interesting. Physius and Benji are there. Physius, who had gotten a 15:34, and Benji, which had gotten a 15:36 on the last run of the day. It was definitely an interesting qualification duo, because Raisin got knocked out with the 15:46 very last second. And Raisin, as far as the previous LTAs were concerned, did was super strong, right? Like, it was a 15:37, 15:35, and 15:09. However, the one day Raisin even slips by 10 seconds, got knocked out. It was truly lethal. So the two runners there in that next LTA are going to be very interesting. Because, in fact, you know, Physius, back when Physius, like, started in like the open qualifier and the first LTA, didn't actually get a 15, got a low 16. However, I think it's pretty unfair. That was months ago, and if I remember correctly, Fizzy's had like just come back or something from playing, so I don't think that's very valid to put up against Phidias. Phidia now is, I'd say, pretty strong. Definitely contending personal best, which is, you know, low 15-1. So I think Phidias is very strong. A player like Benji is obviously very strong. If Benji gets that really good run, nobody's ever gonna beat him. Either way, okay, very curious here, because both sides just have 12 seconds of time save on Fire Seat. Are we ahead? We might be. Okay, we in fact are. Interesting. That is very, very interesting. I'm very curious what will be happening in this BOJs. These backwards long jumps. Data oatslice PB. Who knows? We'll discover right here, right now. The first flight of stairs is a very instantaneous BOJ, which sadly, however, doesn't keep the momentum, so we'll lose some time in movement navigation. And the second one, if it's instantaneous, we might be good. Wait a minute, it is? Hold the phone? Wait. Wait. Hold on. There's something in here that's very intriguing. The bit is going well so far. Oh, slide in. Didn't get like the sweet kick. Is still alive. Is still living to see the day. Heading into that moving right. Oh, doesn't get it. Has to switch to standing left and misses it. Alright, there we go. No, it didn't happen. For a minute, I was wondering if this was the craziest tomfoolery of all time. No, not in this one, oatslice. No PB. But that is very, very, very intriguing. I was just trying to get up these elevators. Oh no. Resetting. There we go. Oatslice. No PB on that occasion. Still had 1 more hour to do it. Was about to reach the perfect halfway point of this LTA, which is probably one of the most interesting halfway points. How the hell did you not get the bird? What? How did? Huh? That is mysterious. Interesting for sure. Don't ask. I was asking the world at large. I think it's because like the body of the bird doesn't account for the head. I think. Like if it just crossed by the head, it won't actually count it. I think that's what's happened. Let's go back to the global screen now and use this one in mostly because there's usually someone in a run. So that's very interesting, very intriguing. So the halfway point, currently Zumi and Sunnard are the very much so have half booked the ticket to qualification landscape. there is 1 hour from oatslice from yesterday to be able to take it. Either way, oatslice from yesterday does need to somehow personal best. So that's very unlikely, in my opinion, to have happened. Well, in the meantime, in first and second, Zumi and Sunnard would be heading into that famous losers semi-final where Physius and Benji are waiting from their qualification yesterday, which could make some interesting things. It's very interesting because, you know, they have all met in they have like some combination. Sunnard has done an LTA with Benji, and Zumi has done an LTA with Physius, so it would be sort of a re-meeting if that does happen. However, that will only happen with the very simple assumption: does oatslice personal best? If the answer is no, we know. If it is yes, oatslice did personal best, then we might be talking. We might be talking. Of course, there's the third possibility that oatslice PB, then it doesn't matter. Because, you know, there was an improvement. That's the thing, like when Sunnard, like second run pretty much already got out 15, 20, 30, so like it's not definitely the time, has the time to try to beat it directly. For the first time in this LTA, we have seen a quiet period where nobody's in basement. This is, I think, a set of runners that gets to basement more often than they don't. So it's been one of those where we do see more basements at play, which personally I consider more fun. It's like it's more entertainment value, right? Because you get to see more runs live and die. However, it does, of course, from a playing perspective, sometimes make sense to attempt to go for that perfect beginning and then just lock that away instead of going for some unperfect beginnings and then really not feel like it's worth to lock it away. I think it's probably better to rapid fire runs because they boost confidence. However, there is a mentor that suits anybody. Zumi, which has continued to sort of, it's not really defy the odds, but like, you know, Zumi always comes in with surprise like first places when you ain't expecting it, you know, like realistically, like Zumi can, like of course Zumi did get that 15-20, but like it was looking unlikely. However, you know, Zumi has had a tendency in these LTAs to manage to do the unlikely, which is a very interesting trait. They're sort of like a clutch trait. Unfortunately, Owless exists. Yeah, a little bit badly timed for me saying that you miss Owless 4 times. Zumi seems, yeah, there's Owless frustration. Look, I'm not good enough to help you out on this one. I don't even, this is one of those classic caster is worse than the player's moment. That's me. That's my essence. So like, that's life. I was born. I mean, yeah, I could feel it. Kind of a short story. Not too much to it. I can imagine. For the scenario of any potential future Supernova tournament, I would definitely be intrigued at seeing more on the commentator situation. It is very difficult to properly figure out commentators, especially, you know, when matches are not on a predetermined schedule. And they said on a... Well, I mean, it is a random schedule. It is decided by the players, but it is very random. On average, right? Because like there's a match on a Monday, then a Sunday, then a Thursday. It's a life. Okay, how's this oatslice run doing? I have no idea. It is going fine. This same time? No. It's it could do well. It needs to have a really good ending though, but it could. It's got that potential, for sure. An oatslice elimination would make, I guess, the entire continent of Oceania get eliminated, which is true, I guess. I don't know why I just thought of it. I mean, it's true. But yes, that would happen in case of oatslice getting eliminated, and then there would only be 3 continents remaining. There would be Europe, of course, with Benji, Zumi Sonard. There would be Asia, because it comes from Japan, and that's in Asia. South America, and Africa never got an entrant in the tourney to begin with, which happens. And then North America would have Xandri, Physius, and am I forgetting someone? No. Oh yeah. So those are the continents. Also, it's currently plus 10. This run is unlikely to service. It's possible, however, if the Mips is really good, which oatslice seems to have a tendency to be getting some really nice Mips clips. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That is just quality. Holy. Oatslice, the goat of Mips clip. And very good. That's a nice front up. All right. These are going pretty well. Here's the main split that has the time save on it for oatslice. That's why when even a +9 is theoretically salvageable. It just needs to be good here in Fire Seat. Let's see what in fact happened. It's a solid pole glitch, which is very interesting. And did we do anything special? No, so it doesn't try. Don't think it was possible. It was a little slow. Still very acceptable. Should be saving a bunch of those 12 seconds. Might still be behind though, in all honesty. Sonard, by the way, in basement, cooking as usual. Sonard, which, you know, out of the players here, we probably discussed the least, because Sonard kind of just got it done with pretty early. Has since, of course, been actually surprisingly overthrown, so is back on the hunt for a really good time. But has been doing really well this session. Multiple very strong runs to the basement. In the meanwhile, oatslice did in fact manage to save enough time to be -1. This is another danger moment. If this goes really well, it could be bad news for Sonard. Let's see if the BOJs will be the best BOJs. The answer is it gets through it. Not at the greatest of speeds, however it gets there. It gets past the line. And this one needs to be relatively instantaneous to save time. Okay, and that's relatively instantaneous, or plus 0.2 back in Bowser. With a chance for PB. There is enough time save on the clock. I think Sonard is surprisingly safe, but we'll see. Oh, what? The jump dive doesn't pay off for oatslice. Oh my lord. Goes for the standard left setup, it works, but oatslice seems to be possibly improving his time if this goes well. However, no PB, no Sonard takeover. oatslice doesn't, of course, know this. Is stuck in yesterday. Let's see the throws. Throw number 1 is a good one. Throw number 2 goes well. Then finally, to close off the deal, will it be throw number 3? And it will. Really good finish there for oatslice. Sucks that it was in this kind of... There was that one little puny tiny little mistake. GG's out from the pass. Oatslice locked it up with a 15:46 to improve the tie. However, Oatslice from the past does not know that's not enough. Still has to play more Mario, of course. Because here's the deal. With being, with not knowing, is that you don't know, which means that you could act it mega chill, or you could act it, you know, you're always on edge, right? Because you don't know. You know, in Oatslice's mind, right? When you're playing first, before, which has happened sometimes, right? It's happened, like, I think with Bazaar, or Bazaar had to play earlier than everyone else. But, like, basically, it's like, you're always kind of on edge, because you could have this time and maybe be first and cruising. However, you could have this time and be last and desperate, which, for example, is currently the situation. And when you are acting alone, when you're playing alone, I feel like it's better to probably just assume that you're struggling all the time. That you need to improve. So even though Oatslice isn't right in the like mentality, like no, sorry. Even if Oatslice doesn't know, right, that he's last, I still think Oatslice is currently in the past. Having the mentality that, like, I need to improve, I need to try to PB, especially if you consider how the session's going. Oatslice already like 3 times nearing a PB. However, the problem is Oatslice's last a few splits, the BOJ and the bits are just so good, they leave no room forever. Despite a whopping 12 seconds of time save in Fire Seat. From missing a cycle, I'd presume. That's another quiet period. So Jutsumi is now the one who has activated PB mode. Going for Saw and all the cool things that save time but are difficult. Who knows what will happen? Yeah, we are in the quiet period. I've not much to say right now. I don't know. I know what to really say. I know, like, here's the deal with commentators. I know, like, the professional commentators for, like, sports events and stuff, they have this gigantic notebook, and they have all this crazy lore. It's pretty much a lore book. They write everything they can possibly imagine, statistics, other shit, of, like, everything they can imagine. And then throughout, they kind of, like, look through it, right? And comment on it, and they have everything, like, lineups and stuff. On the book. It's very interesting. Be it a sportscaster. However, here's the deal. I'm not professional enough for that. I don't have enough talking points. So I'm kind of exhausted them. I don't have too much lore on the individuals, of course. I kind of could talk about the previous Supernova history. You know, Karen, who's the first grand finalist, is a new. Didn't participate in the original Supernova. The 16-player event with no double elimination, no LTAs, just straight up races. It was a much smaller scale event, and in fact, most of the players in this tournament weren't in that. However, this is a notable session because a majority of the players in this LTA were actually in that tournament. Sunnerd had made it all the way to the finish stage of that tournament, had made it all the way to the final, before eventually losing that grand final to Kinematics, which did not return. And of course, Sunnerd still chasing to reach that race, the grand final, after getting knocked out early by Soda. Zumi also was in the previous Supernova, the original one. Ended up losing to Finny, I think, in round 2, because Zumi was a surprise replacement for a player that dropped out. So had a lower seeded spot, basically, is what happened. And because of that, had to face Finny early and lost that race and then got knocked out. Hirozumi also lost to Soda in a surprise. Soda, which has since been eliminated due to forfeit. However, Soda did drop both Zumi and Sunnerd down here. In the meantime, Zumi has proven to have had definitely that improvement margin since, you know, last Supernova and last other scenario. Yes, Zumi and Sunnerd are both of the people that Soda upset. Then Soda got defeated by Spenner, couldn't manage 3 ups in a row, and then in the LTA chose to forfeit. But yeah. So the runner, which I'm pretty sure possibly the only one to have actually won a race with maybe like the only one to have played. No, wait. Was there someone else? I'm really trying to remember because I know Soda played with no LBOJ once or twice. I don't know if Soda won a race with no LBOJ. I don't actually remember. I don't remember someone. I think someone else tried it. Tried to do a no LBOJ. Who it was, I cannot tell you. I do not remember. Yeah, but we do have a few runs in the basement. While I was talking, let's finally focus in on one of them. Let's go focus on oatslice, who's of course a V runner that has to improve the time. Has a time to improve. Immediately see here, big mistake. While trying to go for the box jump. Has to take the proper old school approach. And will immediately be losing boatloads of time to that alone. Alright. I'm curious how much the damage in Hazy Maze Cape was because of that alteration in tactic. I think it's going to be pretty big. Turn is also in a pretty good run. Gotta keep the eyes peeled out for that one. Down there at the bottom right of the screen. That Zoom is currently not in any significant run. Right, oatslice plus 5. One of the better situations oatslice has been in at this point in time. However, as usual, there is not much time to work with. Has to play really good. Nice punch grab. Let's see if we're getting past the 30 door. Oh, we are. Dude, dude, the MIPS clips from oatslice are a piece of art. Alright? They never miss. I don't know how to tell you this. They have never missed. They're just too good. They're really good. Like, actually. Okay, curious to see if Sunner is ahead out of HMC. So I will keep my attention peeled for that. oatslice also going in for the front up, gets it, and very nice. Okay, it's behind, I think. No, ahead? Question mark? Might have split early. 10-15, 10-16-ish. Pretty good time. Alright, let's see how the fire C goes. We see, of course, the stage. oatslice cannot miss a cycle here. If oatslice wants to save that time and have some time to work with heading into the final few stages. Oh no, that movement is really, really bad. Oh, oh no. Oh, really? Oh, that absolutely sucks. Alright, oatslice will not be saving that time. Damn. That one's kind of crazy. That one is kind of crazy. oatslice gonna be getting the throw. On Bowser in the fire, see? Which fun fact has teleportation powers. The only one to do that for some reason. Today Womps is Womps fair. The BPT for oatslice says that there's no light at the end of the tunnel. No crazy cycle for Sunder to Ever in Fire C here. Not gonna be any ultimate shenanigan. Which is usually fine for an LTA. However, Sunder's kind of trying to PB here, so. Right, oatslice, very good 50-star BOJ. One of the best ones you could possibly get, actually. Needs to instantaneously clip up to save any time. All right, there we go. Oatslice definitely has the opportunity here to improve on of 1546. However, the personal best is kind of gone without a random gold, which from this movement doesn't seem likely to happen. Wait, is Sunner ahead? Wait a minute, it's difficult to say. I don't know what to focus on right now. Hold on, let me quickly focus it on Sunner. This might be counterintuitive, but I gotta check this out. Come on, look at this time. Oh god, this is an unbelievable setup. Oatslice got a throw. Sunner's somehow still getting the BOJ. Oatslice got another throw. And Oatslice got all 3 throws. Alright, great job to Oatslice. For having improved the time even closer to 1537. So they're trying it all, not working. Oatslice from the past, getting oh so ever close. Sunner did not manage it. Just understand, right, the situation with the 1537. Alright, that 1537 put a 1529 in danger. So Oatslice, to be fair, this is really good. It's very well played from Oatslice in this session from yesterday. Like honestly, tons of finish runs. Tons of runs competitive with PB. It is just slightly unfortunate that for Oatslice, right? It's unfortunate for Oatslice that Zumi and Sunner just got such unbelievable runs so early, because like if it was a time like this and Zumi or Sunner had it gotten that crazy run yet, it would have definitely, you know, would have set the nerves. However, with that, it kind of becomes, you know, it sorts itself out a little bit, because if it's not a PB, it doesn't like matter. And we've known that for the better part of an hour. No, yeah, because now a 15-2x is required. Yeah. Yeah, like the time to beat is really good. It's just everybody beat it already immediately. So thankfully the good runs happen earlier rather than later. For the mental of the 2 runners that are currently here, Zumi and Sunner. Hello, Physius. So far, the people joining you and Benji on the next LTA would be Zumi and Sunner. Oatslice, this is that is footage from yesterday. It has gotten quite close to a PB. However, Oatslice from around 30 hours ago has not yet managed to get a personal best. So has had some close opportunities to do that. Now, yeah, just a reminder on the bracket, there's not much left in this tournament after all. If the two runners that win here go to the loser semifinal, which is the last of the 4-player LTAs, then that one will be a super LTA. Like, it will be 3 hours instead of the classic 2, and it'll be just be the straight up fastest time qualifies. So it's the LTA that encourages perfection. And then finally, the winner of that goes to play a 2-hour LTA, which is, however, a 1v1. It's just a straight up, like, winner faces that. Like, it's just straight up, like, Zandri will be there, and we know, as the loser of the winner's final. And then the winner of that goes on to the final race, the grand final, which is a best of 5 against the only person who didn't lose, Karen. So that's all that's left in the Supernova tournament. Will be happening throughout the next few weeks. The current scenario is evolving with some of the two top emulator runners surviving and currently thriving in this tournament. Getting some really, really good times. Gonna go back up to check on how this run from oatslice goes. That pillarless. The bomb is slow, but it'll certainly get there, which is nice. Things are going pretty well. We're about to reach 20 minutes. 20 minutes left on the clock. Will be happening in just about 40 seconds. Zumi struggling with Aulus. Seems like the comments he gave before are accurate. Like usual. Oatslice -4 out of shifting Sandland. Something's cooking here. Can't lie. This is going pretty well. Oh no, getting burned on the way to the red coins. There we go. Getting it done. All right. The volcano goes well. That is good stuff. And then side up also goes well. Alright, things are going on average pretty well in this run. Which is definitely interesting. Sunnard so far. Remember, D1 that would get chopped off in case oatslice did manage this personal best. Did manage it yesterday. The current mystery at play, because I doubt it, right? Because nothing's been like known about it externally. However, it would be really good trolling. It would be very good trolling if there's a PB here that just didn't know I submitted to wait. That's a good box jump. Zumi LPOJing into Worm's Fortress. I see. Theoretically faster strategy, I'm pretty sure. It is slightly unreliable though. Because I need to open the door in Worm's server, like, yeah. Very unreliable to do 2 LPOJs back to back. Alright, let's see what the verdict on the HMC here from oatslice will be. It looked pretty solid. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. Never mind, I saw something wrong with it just then. Oh my. How am I jinxing the past? For +1, which is not bad at all. If you consider that, if you remember, oatslice has significant time save. Oh no, it's the punch grab. Oh no, camera. Oh, okay. That might be unsavable. Dude, I don't know. I presume someone has like done the math for like task routing and stuff, but like I don't. I'd presume it needs to be pretty fast. Yeah, I don't think there's much time to lose because, you know, going there and be LBOJing still does take time. So yeah, it would need to be like good. It's probably worth it in the sense that like it lose like 2 seconds anyways. If you do it non-perfectly, so it's fine. Let's try it for the funny, but yeah. Alright, oatslice missing the start and resetting. This run, it was looking really good, however, the MIP said no. So it's time to go look at what Sunnard is doing. Sunnard yet again on PB pace, as usual, somehow. It's a slow bomb. One of the slowest bombs possible, but there we go. We got there. Yeah, I think you get to see Sunnard ahead so much because, like, if you noted again, like, just earlier in that 1523, Sunnard had like a 10:06 exit of HMC, which, like, 10:19 is the one in this PB, which is, you know, just, it's a lot. It's a lot of time. It's technically, like, pretty okay in the first half. Sort of picks up in the second, and that's how you get the crazy 10, but Okay by this standard. 1019 is incredible, but for pretty much most runners. Slowly but surely, we're inching to the finish. We have officially crossed the point where any new started run would finish after. So from oatslice from yesterday and Zumi right now, if those runs were to be the ones, they'd be the last ones as well. Sunnerd is deep within a run right now, so there's still time. If this finished, there would be time for one more, but other than that. Yeah, Suichi would have probably done it, now that I think about it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, now that I think about it, there's no way that didn't happen. Yeah, I'd presume you need something, like, unreliable. Otherwise, someone would have tried it, at least. It's like, I'm sure there's players that are confident with LBOJ. At least one of them. Solid lava boost here from Sunnerd. Well done, well played. Oh no, Sunnerd not getting it. Oh my god. Sliding off a dime. Rip. That was the worst possible time to take the burn because it's a slope. So there's not enough momentum. That does suck. That really does. Alright, we have confirmed that it is not worth it to LBOJ into Worm's Fortress. Yeah, this community is crazy. Or something. Somewhere. Oh my. Last time I forgot to remind. I mean, they were kind of watching the stream. Do I need to remind? I mean, I usually like to remind anyways because of time, so I'll do it. Hello, runner. Just popped me in to say that from this moment you have 8 minutes and 45 seconds left. Very specific. That's how long you've got left to do reset. All right, have fun. There we go. Missing the time milestones there. Just not focused on the timer. It's going by so quickly, you know? Looking at all this crazy epic Mario action that's going on. Which is why the next LTA will be longer with even more Mario. I think if you swap the blue and green parts of the Italian and French rap, anybody would notice. You know, I think yes. I think someone from I think one of the French people would, because there's French people that come in and support Zunard. And any French runner for the matter. Very united over there. Like pretty much, like honestly, anytime a French runner was playing, there was always at least like two who come in and say their good lucks and stuff. So I think they would notice if the flags are swapped. Worms. I wonder if oatslice thinks disqualified. I'm really curious. I wonder what oatslice from 30 hours ago was thinking. You know, because this time is good. You know, if you consider PB to be like pretty much the ceiling, right? It's pretty unlikely, right, for someone to PB when in this setting, even though it's happened a few times. Looks at Zumi. Even though it's happened a few times, it's very unlikely. So like if you put that as the ceiling, oatslice has pretty much played up to the ceiling, right? For like 3 seconds of it is really good. We're about to 5 minutes enter the last reset portion where the last run goes. Here we go. That was the quiet period. He's gone for the moment because Sun is back in basement. I like to call the quiet period any portion of time where nobody is, where everybody's still in WOMS or Dark World or LBOJ or intro. They're kind of the early parts of the run, you know. They're kind of to get to they are juicy, but they're also they're so early that you see them so much. They're like it's not too big of a deal if you screw it up. It's only like up to SSL and on where like if a run is good, if a run ends WOMS at a good time, then it becomes an interesting run, I think. 3 minutes and 20 seconds just left on the clock. It's not a long time. It really isn't. It's kind of crazy how little time that is. So not much time to waste. Beyond anything, if Sunder still had the lightest risk of potentially getting these around if outside's locked in, Zumi is pretty much 100% safe. Because that would need both Sunder and Oatslice to lock in. Sunder is currently on a good run, but like, again, unlikely. 1 is already unlikely as is. 2 is pretty much impossible. Though of course, remember it did happen. Like just yesterday, both Benji and Raisin got in a time improvement, a new best in the LTA on the last run. It didn't knock someone off. However, it did happen, which just shows that it is possible. Although, obviously, that was very unlikely to happen. The fact that happened was kind of really weird. 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Heading the final stages. Sundered. In Lethal Lava Land. We got time, there's only 1 minute remaining. Lava boost is pretty solid. Outslice me not gonna be entering basement at +2. But not bad. However, there's still a long time to go. 1 minute. Dumi's also gonna be heading into the famous stage with the fortress in it. After the throw. I'm almost about to, need to tell them about the timer. I can't tell Oatslice it, but like, interestingly, at one point in the stream, the video did buffer for 1 second. For Oatslice's turn. Either way, hold on. Ten seconds left to do resets. And time's up. No more resets from this point on. Good luck on them. There we go. Sarner Zumi and hopefully Oatslice, this is the Google timer has been informed. As the last reset approaches ever nearer. Zumi. Sarner, which I've hopefully not distracted. Alright, let's see what this finish time for Sarner is. It could be pretty damn good. Oh my, wait, this is 10:09. Alright. 10:09 from Sunner. Here we go. Oatslice also saving some time on the SSL plus 0.8. This is some good stuff. How about this? Let's put in the global focus. Look at the bottom of the screen. We got the 2 big runs with Sunner and Oatslice. Sunner doing super good so far. Yeah, that's a nice mip that saves time. However, of course, Oatslice is the one that needed to get that run. That was a big deal. Sunner Needs to throw it all on the line for the PB. Lost a few seconds to Mips, thanks to the door not working immediately. The initial door. So lost a few seconds of that. Oatslice, not sure how Oatslice is looking in LL. It's looking fine. Zumi entering the basement. Not on great time, but still very savable. Nice fronts up there from Sunnard. Locking out DDD, saving some more time. Things are looking good on that front so far. Heading into the fire seat, which needs to be stellar. 2 more stars to get for oatslice, screwing up. Beside hop, Sunnard screwing up the pole glitch. Oh no. Needs to hope that this backup is fast enough. It sometimes is. But I don't think it will here. Nope. Oh. That sucks. Can't deny it. It was close, but didn't quite work out there on the fire seat. Has some time to lose though, so it's hopefully possible that the one might be alive, but it's kind of unlikely. Oatslice with that significant time lost in for Lava Land after the mistake in the side hop. +8. So had a very slight margin of hope throughout the latter run. Uzumi saving a little bit of time on the SSL. Are they trying to fight back against the +8 garnered by the famous stage with a fortress on it? Unfortunately, that we don't actually get to see in the fast route of 16 star. Anyway, Sunnard +1 out of fire seat. There's a little bit of hope. It has to be good BOJs or an incredible sky, but mainly good BOJs. All right. Let's see. The Sunnard got it in them. The answer is a respectable no. Instantly on the second try. To try to salvage any last second from this. Maybe try to snatch away past that 1523. However, that's just not gonna catch quickly enough. I mean, +10 is on pace for a 1523. Southern has to do something wild to be able to even beat it. Tries to get this long jump, gets it. Hold up, hold the phone. I'm not exactly sure how this HMC from oatslice went. I was kind of busy seeing if Sunnard was gonna PB. Okay, it apparently lost some time, so it's now +11. Looking bad on the oatslice front, I can't lie. Sunnard getting to moving right perfectly as well. Didn't quite manage to get this triple jump. That's gonna lose the valuable time. So with that, I think any the hopes for a gold are extinguished. I mean, I'm not sure what Sunnard's gold is, but it looks very good. Oatslice gonna be trying to keep any chances alive. Needs to get a beautiful Mips clip. However, Oatslice is a certainty. Alright, let's see the Sunnard throws. Got one. Needs to get the second. What? That's crazy. That miss. That's wild. That right there is crazy. There we go, Sunnard. Gets the third throw there. Won't be able to improve on the 1523. However, gave it a very, very valiant effort. Meantime, I'd just like to point out that Zumi has been slowly marching away at the time. Let's see if Oatslice has got a front sub in him. Nope. Not at all. Oh my. Yikes. Slides off again. And calls it. Calls it there. Oatslice is finished. There we've got the basic YouTube videos that play. The basic recommended on YouTube. Nice. Good, good. Hide, hide that away. Um, and we have discovered our qualifiers. Sumi has one last run to, potentially PB. I don't think this can PB because of the boulder. Um, which I'm sure must have lost some time, but Jimmy has very impressively managed to keep this run alive, despite it being a plus 8.2 at WOMP, so 430, which we're 1502 again. Keeping this run alive in the PB spectrum is very good. Right, very high quality stuff. Yeah, there is some big boy time loss. We are going up to plus, not plus 9. Run technically still alive. Of course, it can also just be the 1520, which makes your time look nicer on the board. Oh my, Izumi just going through the door. Just straight up. Doesn't go into the door, just goes through the door. That is technically how Mario 64 should work, but no, you can go through doors. I think Zumi has given up, grabbing the 16th star for the boys. And that is that. Pause the music. Let's hit up the two runners, which are here, of course. No, it was less. Hello.
Hey,
Yo, hello.
Jeez.
GG's.
GG's.
How are y'all? How are y'all doing? How are y'all feeling?
Good.
Ah, very good. Yeah. You were talking about the quiet period,
Yeah.
like my quiet period lasted an hour and a half after that 1520. Holy shit. But I think the 3 hours LTI was gonna be a banger.
Yeah,
Why?
that will be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this OTA was very interesting because it kind of, yeah, it took half an hour and then it kind of, you knew where it was going, you know? Like, Sonic got the 1523 immediately, and then you got that, and then Zumi got the 1520, right? Which then, like, I don't know, if oatslice had gotten a PB, I feel like it would have been somewhere, you know? But, like, it did it up there on
Yeah.
speedrun and stuff, so, like, I was finding it unlikely. Turns out oatslice was incredibly close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he kind of
really
played
cool.
better than us because he was only 3 seconds off his PB with that run. So
Yeah.
GG's
yeah.
to out if you're here. Very bonkers, very banger.
I'm curious, Sonard, was that HMC a best pace ever?
No, the my best HMC is a Ho 3.
Damn.
What the fuck, bro? My BP is at oh 07,
And
holy shit.
and it was at the time where I was doing the saves on my stars. Like I didn't knew I was losing sometimes on the saves, you know.
Mm.
Damn.
So yeah,
That's crazy.
but well.
But yeah, with that, yeah, we're moving on to the semifinal, which is that 3-hour LTA. Um, in it, of course, you will meet each other again. Physius, which won, and the LTA M, the other LTA from this round, and Benji, which finished second. So I guess I'll ask, do you guys have any opinions on that LTA?
Really scary, I will say. Not
Fair.
quite confident as today, clearly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Really scary, but I'm enjoying it a ton compared to the winners. How do you say it?
The races.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like it would be scary, but at the same time, I can chill with the stream in the background. You know, I can hear you commentating the music,
Yeah.
just vibing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I cannot obviously do it with the races. So yeah.
Yeah, LTAs are more like chill,
Mm,
because there's just so much time to work with, you know?
yeah.
But yeah, with that, do one of you plan to keep streaming? Because I could raid you.
Nah, honestly, I think I'm gonna stop. Yeah.
Alright. Then I am not too sure.
There is a Raisin, but he's on a break, so
Yeah,
I don't
Raisin's
know.
on the break. I could just raid Karen. Karen is streaming. And that is, one of the 2 finalists.
Yeah,
So I'll probably just do that.
fair enough.
The goat Karen.
Alright, there we go. We'll go raid Karen. Make sure to check that out. In the meantime, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to you two for playing. Hope you had fun. We will see you again. oatslice isn't here, but of course, thanks to oatslice for having participated, played in the tournament, and all that. Having done the 2 hours yesterday, did perform, I'd say, very well. In fact, oatslice is so far the only person to have won 2 games against Karen. So that is that, and with that, we will see you next time at an unknown day for the next LTA. Goodbye.
Bye.